people, and welcome back to my channel, Cook with Joy. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing a really fun and kind of unique or different spin on a traditional Thanksgiving dish, and that is a sweet potato casserole. But this one is a spicy version. I made this last year, and I believe I even shared it on my channel, but I thought it was worth sharing again because last year when I shared it on my channel, I don't think I had even tried it. I just decided to share it with you and hope for the best, but it was amazing, and I'm definitely going to be making this again this year for Thanksgiving, so I thought I would share it with you again. I hope you enjoy seeing how I make this spicy sweet potato casserole. But as you could see, first I needed to go ahead and wash the sweet potatoes and prepare them to be baked. You can actually go ahead and peel them and cut them up and boil them. I think that that is traditionally what people do when they make sweet potato casserole. However, I recently learned from another recipe making whipped mashed sweet potatoes that it is maybe even better to bake them just for the consistency. So I decided when making this dish this year, I'm gonna go ahead and bake the sweet potatoes to cook them to get them nice and soft. So I started with that because that takes quite a while, especially with how big those sweet potatoes are. Did you see how big they were? I think the recipe calls for 4 sweet potatoes, but I only use 3 because these are like sweet potatoes on steroids or something. I don't know why they're so big, but they will probably take quite a while to bake to get nice and firm. So I'll probably have to leave those in there at least for an hour, maybe closer to an hour and a half, but I will definitely check them after an hour and see how they're doing. But once those sweet potatoes are baked and cooled off, then I can show you the ingredients and show you how we put this casserole together. Okay, so here is what you will need for this recipe. It does call for 4 medium-sized sweet potatoes, but since mine were so large, I am gonna go ahead and just use 3. Then you need 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, and I'm using this Earth Balance butter, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and then the fun part is the spices. You will need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 a teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/4 a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then for topping, you will be using 1/2 cup of pecans, and then 1 cup of marshmallows. Typically, I would use mini marshmallows, but I can only get the vegan marshmallows from either Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. So I'm just gonna use what I have on hand. These are the bigger ones, so I'll probably cut them up into pieces to make it so that it melts a little bit better on top. Okay, this is actually much later in the day, by the way. And if I look like a hot mess, it's because I just went on a walk with a friend, but I wanted to let those sweet potatoes cool. I probably left them a little bit longer than I ordinarily would, just because I was gone on the walk with my friend. So typically the butter would just kind of melt in with the sweet potatoes. So I'm just gonna peel off the skin and add the sweet potato flesh to a large bowl. And then I'm gonna go ahead and melt the butter since, like I said, the sweet potatoes they're quasi-warm, but they're not warm enough, I think, to melt the butter. But basically, I'm just gonna go ahead and start by mixing in the melted butter, the maple syrup, and the spices with the sweet potato flesh. So let's start there. I did forget to mention that I'm just gonna be using this potato masher to mash it up. Okay, next up, you're gonna transfer this sweet potato mixture to a 9x9 or an 8x8 pan, and you're going to bake it in the oven covered with foil for 20 minutes. And then you're gonna remove it from the oven, remove the foil, and add the pecans and the marshmallows on top, and then cook it for an additional 10 minutes. These pecans that I have, they're like pecan halves. They're not like little pieces. So I'm also going to chop these up just so that they're more palatable in this dish. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. Okay, my friends, I have a little bowl here with a little bit of this sweet potato casserole in it to taste test it with you. Before I get into this though, I do need to address, which I never addressed, the fact that yes, I'm wearing a tank top. Yes, it's the middle of November. That's how it is here in Austin, Texas. I think the high today was in the mid 80s. So this is my life. It's almost Thanksgiving and I'm still wearing a tank top and shorts. But anyway, let's taste this delicious fall. I'm gonna bring the fall vibes with my food. It might not be fall outside, but it's inside with this food. So let's give this a try. I'm gonna make sure I get all of the components, the pecans, the marshmallow, and of course the casserole. So good. Chef's kiss, 100%. I do have to say, I love sweet potatoes. It's probably one of my favorite foods. So I might be biased on how this turned out, but this is absolutely delicious. The spicy with the sweet, it's perfect. Okay, you lovely people, I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made this alternative sweet potato casserole, this spicy sweet potato casserole. Please let me know down in the comments if you are planning on giving this one a try. As always, I will be sure to put the ingredients and the instructions in my description box below in case you want to try this recipe out. But thank you so much for watching my video all the way until the end, and I will see you next time. Bye!